I started very early than the regular ones. Then I said, I'm going to change an industry in such a way that if they ask the students, what would you like to be when you grow up? They can say, I want to be a photographer. So it's not just a picture, it becomes a work of art.
Averagely, in a month,
yes,
what kind of income are we talking about?
But an average, you can get as much as $1 million.
How many people want to be photographers? Some of my friends in the house,
yes, please.
They're graduates, they have interests, they've owned cameras all their life, but they've never made money from it.
Yes.
What's the first natural step they should take in getting into photography? Where do they start?
First of all, as you said, that's really not much
Entry barrier.
Entry
barrier.
But the truth is that you first of all have to have the passion for it, because there will be a time whereby not necessarily things will be moving on smoothly, yeah, and you think as if you probably want to change to another profession, but that's when you have to dig in deep and work on your projects, because no time really is lost. So as a result of that, I would say that first of all, so that for emphasis, it's better that you run through a school. First of all, to run to a school of photography,
so you can get some skills.
Because unfortunately, a lot of Nigerians, some photographers just pick up the camera and start taking pictures. But by the time you ask them some technical details, they really don't know those things, which has a risk, which sometimes will affect their works.
It limits them.
Yes, it does. It does limit them. But I want to try, as I've done all the years, to make sure that everyone has a standard to maintain. That way, once you run through the courses, you run through the basic handling of the camera, you understand and you bond yourself to the camera, it's easier for you to move to the next level. Because I just ask people the same question. Can you sit down in front of the client and tell the client that, okay, from one photo book, I want you to pay me $500,000? I just asked you the question. Can you sit down?
I know photo books that are $1.5 million.
So, yes. So I just ask them, can you actually sit down and defend it based on what you are actually offering? Can you actually do that? So that's why I say that people have to run through. I actually run a school.
Oh, you do?
Yes, I do, because I decided to, because I was instrumental to the development of photography in Nigeria. So I decided that I've gotten to this level. A lot of people hoard information, but I said no. I want to change an industry. I want to change people's lives, whereby when people ask them, students, I want to be a photographer. And the only way you can actually do that is to get proper training. So,
how long does the course take?
Well, the art of photography takes about 3 months, 3 times in a week for 3 months. But their courses...
What does it cost?
Well, it costs about 180,000 naira.
Okay. See, my people, everybody did...
But you know, because it's that long a period, but they are broken down. For instance, basic is about 1 week. That's 3 times in a week. Just 1 week, a 1 week course. Because what it is that almost all the aspects of photography are taught every week, from basics to digital photography, to portraiture, to lighting, to food photography, to events coverage, wedding contracts, financing, and setting up a business.
What do you need to take your business to the next level? Expert advice? Affordable financing? State-of-the-art technology? A partner you can trust. At First Bank, we can help with that. Visit sme.firstbanknigeria.com to find out how we can help you grow your business. First Bank.
I'm going to allow you to ask him some questions so that you can tidy up on areas that you're not clear about. But however, this is the practical season. That's our goal. Everything that we do in this season is to actualize those ideas. It's for us to actually move people into those directions, and they can then be the example that inspire others. Questions?
Photography. As a person, I don't really like taking pictures, but I like being snapped. Now, what economic aspects, from taking value from that, how can I go about that? The second question is, when you're talking about valuing a picture as to the price and all that, the question is, what determines the value of a picture? Is it based on personal, like, oh, I love this picture, or are there some basic factors that determine the quality and the value of a picture?
Can someone actually make it in photography by maybe snapping abstract things like nature and all that?
I'll answer her question first, then I'll go to yours. Definitely you can, because abstract pictures are actually part of art photography. Fine, you don't like to deal with people, no problem, but you can actually go into your own cocoon and begin to photograph artworks. Anytime you go on a holiday, you can actually take a project, travel, photograph different things, or you can conceptualize and put things together as a composition and give it a title. Then you actually put the things together and actually photograph it. So that way there's a meaning to it. So it is lucrative. You can begin to do, that's what advertising companies do, because basically the client just has a brief. The client wants to achieve something. So based on what the client wants to achieve, right, you have to illustrate it. That's part of photography. So you can actually still work with the advertising agencies. At the same time, you can work as an artwork. So just you keep photographing. All right. Oluwaseun, right? I'll start first of all by saying you want to be a model. Yes, there are economic remunerations to that, in the sense that, let me just tell you the figures. A billboard could attract as much as 700,000, yes, for a year or two. I'm just telling you. And a lot of times,
models fees or
yeah,
the
model
cost of
fees. Model fees, yes, I'll tell you that, models fees. So, and if it's all encompassing, whereby you do television, paper, press, that's what television product press. Once you do that, that could even increase. So it is lucrative, but do you have what it takes? You're going to be going through a lot of casting, you're going to be going through a whole lot of things, so you have to polish up yourself and probably get a portfolio of yourself. First of all, get photographs taken of yourself. So that's that part of it. So, there are some qualities, depends on what the brief is going to be. Then your next question, value placing. First of all, value placement has to start with yourself. Give yourself a value first of all. When you give yourself a value, then you can say, look, it took me X and X amount of time to get this photograph taken. So as a result of this is my lifestyle. This is what I want you to pay me for it. And you have to be bold enough to demand that particular money. It's part of value. And obviously, you should have practiced enough, and you should be able to know exactly what you're doing. Because if you present anything to anyone, they're going to ask you questions. So you be your greatest critic before anyone starts criticizing you. So if you criticize yourself, first of all, it's easier when someone comes in your presence and is looking at your works, because you wouldn't be there to actually defend your works. Because I keep saying works, because each photograph, each image, from my point of view and a lot of other people, is a work of art. So as a result of it being a work of art, you might not necessarily be there to defend it. So it should speak volumes on your behalf.
Thank you very much for sharing. Thank you very much for being very open and very honest with us. And thank you for blessing a new generation of Nigerians. We're definitely going back, and he already has a photography class from this team. So we'll come back to you and we'll work out the details. And we know you'll help us to mentor them.
Yes, I will.
So for the photography class, this would be our mentor, and we'll find a few others.
Thank you very much.
Are you a creative person? Are you looking for the right partner to help you transform your talent into your business? We can help with that. First Bank SME Connect. Visit sme.firstbanknigeria.com to find out more. First Bank.
Are you a Nigerian? Do you have a business idea but lack the initial capital? AGDC, in partnership with Lagos State Government, the Chair Center Group, founded by Mrs. Ibukun Awoshika, presents through an online contest, Ignite Ideas Contest, to give seed capital of 100,000 Naira each to 1,100 people and 1-year business mentorship. There is more. You also get access to credit facility from one of the biggest banks in the country. All you have to do is log on to www.igniteideas.org to register and fill the application form. You should also follow them on their social media pages. Facebook, www.facebook.com/igniteideascontest. Twitter, @ignitecontest. Hurry and give your business ideas some life.
Okay,
when it comes to financing your small business, as it were, I want to ask this question. This is what you're doing, this is your focus. Is it totally wrong or wrong in the sense that you find other small businesses you want to do because you want to get finance from there and
to support your main
business?
No, it's not. You see, like, even though I did caution you guys during the program about multiple streams of income, the whole essence of me cautioning you about multiple streams is for you to stay focused.
Okay.
Because I realize a lot of young people think, oh, that means I should do this and this and this and this and bring it all together. No, because you must first build something that shows who you are, that shows you have capacity to institutionalize. But in the course of doing that, if you find opportunities, because they can be distractions, but they can be opportunities. If you find, like, okay, your uncle works in this company and says to you, can you find a source for telephones? And you say, yeah, I know. My friend's brother imports telephones or something. He says, okay, we need someone to supply us 50 telephones and you will make some money from it. Meanwhile, for your next movie that you want to produce, when you look at the numbers of what trading or supplying the phone will generate, it will give you the capital you need. Will I say you shouldn't do that? Do you understand what I'm saying? You have an opportunity, you take it, but it doesn't distract you. You do not now abandon what is your vision and your goal and become a telephone seller. Because, you know, selling telephone can generate money for you, but it won't help you to fulfill your dream. So that's why, yes, you can have other opportunities that can support the dream, but don't be distracted. Always better to build one core thing And you find that it's easier to build multiple businesses when you have a proven track record. You need one business that shows at least at a starting point. All right? Thank you. You're welcome. Yes, Kafa, you were going to ask.
Yes, Mom, having mentioned focus and starting point,
Yeah.
I have a bit of a challenge, my partner and I. As a town planner, we decided to major down into transport. Into transportation.
Okay.
Because you know that the road network is already overused, overutilized, under pressure. So we decided to go use the waterways. Because like the last youth forum I attended, even the governor mentioned that last while it's a good opportunity for young people to come in. But like you said, starting up, we've got the proposal, ferries, to ply the waterways, either routes on the waterways. But now the challenge we have now is the bridge between us and the people that will finance the project. Because of our interest, we are undergoing a master's degree at Unilag. We're doing transport management and planning. So we decided to have a basic knowledge, a comprehensive knowledge about it. So now the question is, and the challenge is, having this, because there's so much gap between the people in the environments that are made, like you said, like Adeyemi said earlier, that meeting people. Now the challenge is the bridge. How do we manage up getting the proposal to the physical state?
Okay. I think what you've done first is, this is an idea you've mooted.
Yes.
Have you put together a business plan around it?
We are still
building. Okay, so that's the process to go. But beyond building, you're already educating yourself by going forward to have the masters in transportation planning and management. Okay, transportation planning and management, which means that you're equipping yourself and preparing yourself to be able to do it. Now, by the time you have your full business plan, there are a few things. One is you'd find other people who have particular interest in that area. You understand? That's one. Two, you could apply for stuff like intervention funds that are available for transportation, and you need to find out if there is any, or enterprise intervention funds, like they had the SureP, which is federal, all right? And if you have a business plan that is sustainable and all of that, depending on, I don't know what their full criteria are, it might be something that you're able to benefit from. That's one. Three, you could find, like I said earlier, people who have specific interest in that area. The only thing is, you see, every time you put a plan together, be sure you have a stake in it. Because if all you have is the paper and the idea, and you have zero stake in it, the reason banks tend not to want to give money to businesses if you have no stake is because they know that you have nothing to lose. If they give you 100% of the money and you see that things are going bad, the drive to fight for it is not there because you have nothing to lose. You can just walk away to them and say, well, the business went bad. It's somebody else's money. But if you only had one house and you sold the house, or that house is collateral, assuming it's collateral, the fear of losing the house will make you push yourself to find solutions or go the extra mile to make sure that thing works. They're more interested in a viable customer that will pay back their money with the interest and will also build his own business. So let's understand the platform well. Now, so when you build a business idea that requires such a large scale funding, what you need to, and don't forget, the other thing is this: you have the interest. That's one. You will have the qualification by the time you finish your master's in transportation management, but you won't have the experience. Now, what that represents for the investor is a higher risk. Because if he has to choose between you have the interest, you have a beautiful business plan, you have the technical knowledge, but you don't have the field experience. And whilst you might undermine that, it is critical because your theory is global theory. Your field experience is local experience, and it would always measure above your global theory because it means you already understand the local challenges or the issues relevant to that industry in the environment and how to deal within it. And that's really important. So when you approach an investor, pari passu, measure his option of another company who has had one boat, even if it's not a ferry. A guy who has run a boat business back and forth might have a higher value because of his experience than you. Because it's easy to partner with him and employ you to bring that management skill into the business. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when you look at it from that perspective, and if that's something that is part of your long-term plan, what I would say to you is when you finish this program, even as you've built the business plan, you still have a missing leg. And that missing leg is go into tutelage. Tutelage with any company that you know right now. There are companies already running ferries. So go and find one of them. Whether it's the state part or the private sector part, and go and work in those companies. You can tell yourself, I'm here for 2 years. Why? You want to see the heart and the inside of the industry. You want to learn where the pitfalls are, and you want to learn how to beat them. You want to understand what their costing model is. Not the one you learned at school is good, but you want to learn the reality of it. And all of that without losing sight of your vision. Within the period that you're working there, you might find people, you might realize find the people who sell the ferries. You might find the opportunity for funding the ferries without even having the capital. Because you might find that you can lease the ferry. But in leasing the ferry, it means that as you are generating income, you're paying monthly for the ferry. And it can be a 3-year lease, a 5-year lease, or 2-year lease. Those are options. And all the other things that you need. You would also meet people who are in the industry. Some that can decide to join up with you, or some that can come and work for you. So when you're going into what I call new territories, you need to make investment. And investment is not always about money. It can be investment in experience gaining, in investment in learning, investment in building the network of that industry. And that will make a lot of difference. All right, so don't give up on it. Don't worry about the fact that you're not able. Once you have any of those projects that require bigger, larger play, you need to re-strategize and build up in stages towards your long-term goal. But slowly, maybe you start with a 20-seater ferry and not a 100-seater ferry or whatever you have in your business plan. Honestly, the principle of small beginnings never fails. There's always, people keep telling you, no, there's certain businesses you can't do small. Every business that I know has a small version model. You just have to understand it is your proof of concept. Your small version model is your proof of concept. And there's a learning curve that you then build on. I've never seen that it fails because it's too expensive to fail expensively. That's the word.
Do you want to grow your business by selling to people in different ways? We can help with that. First Bank SME Connect. Visit sme.firstbanknigeria.com to find out more. First Bank.
Send in your comments, questions, and shoutouts to our Facebook page, facebook.com/IgniteTV, Twitter /IgniteTVNG, And check out our website www.ignite-tv.com. For extras on Ignite, visit our YouTube account on www.youtube.com/IgniteTV Nigeria for lots more about the show and lots of useful information on building your business.